What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you guys today. And this is your AEW Dynamite review and results show for today, Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Woo! The Nature Boy Ric Flair makes his AEW debut and he surprises Sting. So let's talk about this and so much more right here on Beyond the Ring with Big T. And we'll get right on into it. We'll hit the introductions and get this party started. And your AEW Dynamite review and results show will be coming your way next. So don't go away, and I will be right back.
This is M-Dog20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you are checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring, Big T.
How's everybody doing out there tonight? Are you guys ready to talk about AEW Dynamite? Because that's what we're here to do. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you right here, right now, today. And this is your AEW Dynamite review and results show for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Again, I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you guys today. Welcome to the show, and you guys check out my website, www.beyondtheringwithbigt.com. You can call into the show live on Skype using BigT_119. Follow me on Twitter, BeyondTheRingBT. Follow me on like me and follow me on Facebook at Beyond the Ring with Big T. And follow me on Instagram at Beyond the Ring with Big T. Don't forget, hashtag Justice for Pretty. Donate to the show using PayPal. There's a PayPal link at the top of the description of this video and every single video that I do. And there's a PayPal button on my YouTube homepage. And there's a PayPal link is pinned to the top of the YouTube live chat and the Facebook live comments. Any amount that you can donate, big or small, to the show would be very much appreciated. And thank you guys very much for that as we get rolling here to talk about AEW Dynamite tonight. What a great show that they put on for AEW Dynamite. Seeing the Nature Boy Ric Flair make his AEW Dynamite debut and surprising Sting. What a moment. That was just some incredible stuff, guys. You gotta love it. I hope that Ric Flair, that we see him again when Sting has his last match, and hopefully he's part of it in some way. It's always awesome to see Ric Flair. It really is. Seeing Ric Flair, I mean, it's something that, it's just always enjoyable. I mean, he's a legend in this business, an awesome guy, And, being able to see Rick, is just one of those things that's awesome. Nothing like seeing the Nature Boy, guys. So, let's see here. Let's take a look. Alright. 3 things Wrestling Inc. hated and 3 things Wrestling Inc. loved about AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. I'm surprised they hated 3 things because this show was awesome except for the women's match. That would be the only thing I would put in that category, but let's see what, they're saying about it. A lot of times I don't agree with what they say, but, AEW Dynamite now with more 100% Nature Boy Ric Flair. So, let's see. First thing that Wrestling Inc. loved about AEW Dynamite was Max, which is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. Miles Schneiderman, Wrestling Inc., senior lead news editor, wrote this one. He says, full disclosure for those who don't know, he's not generally an AEW guy in general, and this episode in particular had very little to offer that he enjoyed. See, this is where I disagree with them already. He says, however, he's been a long Roderick Strong guy, and on Wednesday night he found that the show was better pretty much any time he was on screen. One of the problems with the recent run of Roderick Strong in the Kingdom and Adam Cole, the vignettes, has been that they have felt so removed from what's actually happening on the wrestling show, whereas the pre-All-In MJF Adam Cole vignettes had direct consequences that we got to watch play out on TV. Roderick Strong annoying Adam Cole to death did not really have anything to anchor it to the primary product because Adam Cole is out with an injury. And MJF suddenly decided to feud with 10 million people at the same time, none of whom are involved with Adam Cole. If it is not directly impacting MJF, the guy who wrestles on the TV show, it just feels unimportant. Fortunately, this week, Roderick Strong directly impacted MJF, and it was great. Adam Cole is finally going off to have surgery, and now Roderick Strong is here to annoy MJF to death, complete with a spectacularly irritating Max call from Roderick Strong, which makes his annoyingness more immediate and gives us a reason to care about it. It also changes the existing dynamic in fun ways. Instead of Adam Cole, who is a genuinely good guy, struggling against the urge to rudely tell his friend he is being insufferable, we have your scumbag MJF struggling against the urge to just push the moron's wheelchair off of a cliff, preferably with him still in it. Hell, the fact that Roderick Strong has been annoying enough at this point that MJF can basically lose that struggle, and we are all fine with it, almost serves to retroactively justify the Roderick Strong Adam Cole vignettes in the first place. He also really enjoyed the way AEW set up both Roderick Strong and the Kingdom and the Acclaimed as MJF's potential partners against the Bullet Club Gold, only for him to choose neither because MJF is still a massive prick with no friends. Instead, we later get a moment backstage where Samoa Joe trades his friendship for another world title shot, and won't it be interesting when MJF shows up to fight Bullet Club Gold, not with friends, but with enemies that he has bribed. So that's the first thing Wrestling Inc. loved. Here's this. The first thing that Wrestling Inc. hated about AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, rushing MJF versus Kenny Omega. This I disagree with wholeheartedly because, come on, this all makes sense, which I'll get into later. Matthew Wilkinson, Wrestling Inc. news writer, wrote this. There are certain matches that just feel like they are built to be on a pay-per-view due to the star power involved, and MJF competing against Kenny Omega certainly ticks that box. They are two of the biggest names in the company, yet tonight it was announced that they will be facing each other in singles action this weekend on AEW Collision with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship on the line. It's an encounter that has relatively come out of nowhere, initially starting as a bit on being the Elite, with MJF whispering how many days it was until his reign as champion surpassed Kenny Omega's, which then translated onto television with a brief segment. However, MJF is currently feuding against Switchblade Jay White, with the two men scheduled to compete at AEW's Full Gear. Therefore, fans are paying zero attention to any possible showdown with Kenny Omega, especially since MJF also has issues with Wardlow and Samoa Joe. However, a brief and very awkward promo from Kenny Omega was all it took for the match to be confirmed for this weekend. It is a move that feels like a rather desperate ratings ploy, and that isn't how a huge encounter like this should be treated. AEW could easily have built this to be a pay-per-view main event down the line, but instead we are rushing it without any build or the physical title itself. Bullet Club Gold currently holds the AEW World Heavyweight Championship as part of their storyline, so should Omega win, what will he be holding, rather than just concentrating on the entertaining work that Switchblade Jay White and MJF have been doing? AEW is trying to make MJF juggle too many plates simply because AEW knows he will deliver entertaining moments. There's no doubt that Kenny Omega and MJF will have a fantastic match due to the talent they both bring, but rushing it with just a few days build is not the right way to bring it to fruition. Let's see. The second thing that Wrestling Inc. loved about AEW Dynamite here for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, it says, Tony Storm is not just filling time. Ross Berman, Wrestling Inc. news writer, writes this. It says, while Tony Storm's silent film career has made for an entertaining picture-in-picture distraction from commercials, we were worried that it would become a placeholder role, but our fears were quelled on Wednesday. Not only did Tony Storm debut a new film titled Hold That Butler, but Tony Storm also added to her entourage with international deathmatch superstar Dr. Luther becoming Tony Storm's actual butler. Later in the night, following the AEW Women's World Championship match, Hikaru Shida's title retention over Ruby Soho, Tony Storm appeared on the ramp with Butler Luther, as well as not Ben Minkiewicz, RJ City, to make her intentions clear, as she'll be looking to regain the Women's Championship at AEW Full Gear. It is nice to know that Tony Storm is still going to be considered a contender-level competitor during her descent into Turner Classic Movies and RuPaul's Drag Race. She leaps off the screen in ways that much of the AEW Women's division has failed to do. We just hope that her quest to regain the AEW Women's World Championship will lead to her healing whatever would send her spiraling in the first place. It would be a shame if Tony Storm were to go back to being just another wrestler when her new character has turned into a true blue star. So, that's the second thing Wrestling Inc. loved here. And the third thing that Wrestling Inc. loved about AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana invade Hangman Adam Page's house. Olivia Quinlan, Wrestling Inc. news writer, writes this. She says, man, Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana just keep getting better and better each week. Home invasion angles for us can be hit or miss depending on how they are executed. Sometimes they can create higher stakes and make a storyline feel more personal, while other times they can come off as silly or cartoonish. Strickland and Nana are a case of the former showing themselves walking through Hangman Adam Page's house after the Elite successfully defended their Ring of Honor 6-man World Tag Team Championships against the Hardys and Brothers A. Hangman Adam Page raced to the back as Strickland looked at the children's pictures hanging on Hangman's fridge and stumbled across a book laying around in the living room as he made his way up to the bedroom of Hangman's young son and left a shirt for him, telling him that he owed him a debt for taking something away. Having been a fan of the storyline for quite some time now, as well as their first match at AEW Wrestle Dream, we are excited that it doesn't seem like things will be slowing down anytime soon for what we felt like was a very lackluster and forgettable AEW Dynamite that I disagree with strongly. This was definitely the standout moment for us. The second thing that Wrestling Inc. hated about AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Seriously though, what the hell was that ending? Miles Schneiderman, Wrestling Inc. Senior News Editor, writes this. It was pretty hard not to enjoy this week's AEW Dynamite main event since it was a tag team match involving three of AEW's best wrestlers and also Kazuchika Okada. A little weird to have Okada take a loss in his debut, even though he was not the one pinned, but it's leading to Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli, so that's fine. What was really weird was the post-match angle, which involved the American Dragon Bryan Danielson presumably selling the combination of an orange punch and a rainmaker by rolling around and clutching his face. This led to the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club coming out to check on him, which for some reason led to the best friends, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Hook, and Rocky Romero coming out and doing nothing. They all just kind of stood around and stared at each other. Then the show went off the air a little later than usual because they got overrun time for this. To be clear, he says, I'm not against the idea of Blackpool Combat Club versus Chaos, even though I wouldn't blame anyone who doesn't keep up with AEW well enough to know that Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Chris Statlander have all technically been Chaos members since 2021, and Rocky Romero is 100% a Chaos member, and also Hook is here now apparently. I just don't understand what this segment was supposed to accomplish in the service of that feud. If the two sides had all started fighting at the end and had gone off the air, mid-brawl, which AEW loves to do, it would have been clinched. But I would have at least understood. Instead, everyone just stands around awkwardly until the audience is sitting there wondering if Danielson is legitimately hurt again. Even commentary seemed confused. Okada is doing these taunting gestures toward Danielson, referencing all his injuries, and the other Chaos members are kind of mildly holding him back, and Wheeler Yuta is over here looking conflicted, which is at least interesting character-wise, seeing as he was also made a member of Chaos back when he ran with the Best Friends. But Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley are just sort of standing over Bryan Danielson or walking in circles, not doing anything until it's time to go off the air. It's bizarre. They say, we don't think Okada would be taunting Danielson if the face injury wasn't part of the storyline, so we have to assume everything here went according to plan. If that's the case, I would advise a different plan because, man, Hurt's face doesn't count as something actually, happening. Now, the third thing that Wrestling Inc. hated about AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, and I don't understand this. I strongly disagree with this. They hated, it says, Ric Flair, just in general. Ross Berman wrote this. Recently, AEW President Tony Khan spent a significant amount of time on social media criticizing Vince McMahon's history of sexual abuse and harassment. Tony Khan's barbs were met with bloodthirsty glee from fans happy to give Tony Khan the moral victory over Vince McMahon in the wake of his ratings loss to WWE, which made it almost bitterly cruel that the terminally online Tony Khan brought in infamous one, Ric Flair. That's they actually use, certain words, towards Ric Flair that, I'm not going to say because I think they're absolutely ridiculous. I mean, come on, I think Wrestling Inc. needs to be a little bit more classy here when it comes to this. I mean, why would they hate Ric Flair showing up? But it says Ric Flair making his AEW debut on this week's Dynamite to give a farewell message to his longtime friend and legendary rival Sting. Ric Flair took over the segment, they say, promising to ride with Sting until his retirement match in March. Ric Flair is an understandable presence to have on Sting's road to retirement, but Tony Khan's recent statements, as well as the fact that the segment did not feel like any kind of deep moment between the two legends, made the entire thing feel small time. Like AEW was dragging itself through the mud for a cheap headline to slap on a, middling episode of television. The early days of AEW were refreshing for those who have tried, or who have tired of wrestling's Teflon, critiques. Hulk Hogan, Disco Inferno, and Vince Russo were all banned, but those days are long gone. The revolution is over, the dream is dead, and AEW is in the muck just like everyone else now. I strongly disagree with everything in that statement. Wrestling Inc. is just, I don't know, I think they're losing it. If this is going to be their views towards a legend like Ric Flair, Wrestling Inc. should be totally 100% ashamed of themselves. And, that's my take on it. Really, it's crazy. I don't understand what their deal is. But, there was a few things here that I wanted to touch on news-wise. Now, if you guys noticed, AEW files to trademark name for potential future pay-per-view. It says, like a horror movie franchise, after a little box office success, the AEW pay-per-view schedule is expanding. AEW has already run more pay-per-view events in 2023 than any other year, having added Wrestle Dream and All In to a schedule that already included Revolution, Double or Nothing, and AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door, all out in full gear. A new trademark suggests another pay-per-view could soon be joining the lineup. AEW recently filed to trademark the name World's End, which is listed as covering the categories of entertainment services and the nature of live wrestling performances, as well as production and distribution methods related to the field of wrestling. A supposedly legitimate screenshot of the application suggests the trademark was filed on Wednesday. No information was included regarding when or how the World's End name could be used. As of this writing, the last pay-per-view event scheduled to be held under the direction of AEW owner Tony Khan is Ring of Honor Final Battle, which will take place in Garland, Texas on December 15th, airing exclusively on Honor Club. Despite that, rumors over the last several weeks have suggested the possibility of another AEW pay-per-view taking place at the end of December, though the promotion has yet to confirm such news. For now, AEW will continue to promote its upcoming pay-per-view Full Gear scheduled for November 18th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. Thus far, the only match scheduled for the show is an AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, consisting of MJF, who will be putting his title on the line against Bullet Club Gold leader Switchblade Jay White. And then it went from that to this, with AEW announcing a new pay-per-view event debuting on December 30th. Earlier today, it was revealed that a trademark had been recently filed for AEW World's End, and we now know what it'll be used for. During AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday night, it was revealed via a graphic that the company, AEW, would be debuting a new pay-per-view event of that name that will be held on December 30th. The show is set to emanate from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, which is Long Island, New York, and tickets will go on sale on November 3rd at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As of this writing, no matches have been announced for the card. Although AEW has held television tapings throughout the New York State and Rochester, Buffalo, Albany, Almont, and New York City, this will be the first time a pay-per-view will be held there. Furthermore, as AEW reportedly continues to move towards holding monthly pay-per-views, this will be the last event of the calendar year. AEW Full Gear will be the last to take place before World's End on November 18th, and previous shows over the last 10 months include AEW Revolution, AEW Double or Nothing, AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door, AEW All In, AEW All Out, AEW Wrestle Dream. So, that is what we have. that is what we have, guys. So at least I was able to give you guys a little something. And I gotta say this real quick, because this was really exciting. And if this is the case, I will finally get to see my first SummerSlam, because backstage report on potential WWE SummerSlam 2024 location. WWE SummerSlam has become a show on the level of WrestleMania, with the past few years taking place in NFL stadiums. This year's edition of SummerSlam took place in Detroit, and last year's SummerSlam took place in Nashville. According to a new report, 2024's biggest party of the summer is eyeing another big stadium, or at the very least, a city with two big stadiums. Fightful Select is reporting that Cleveland, Ohio is being considered as a frontrunner for the home of 2024 SummerSlam, though it is not clear if WWE is bringing the event to Cleveland Browns Stadium or Progressive Field, home of the Cleveland Guardians, though the report mentions representatives from the Browns. Fightful sources say that the event is likely for the city, but Wrestling Inc. reached out to WWE for comment and was told nothing is finalized and several cities are under consideration. Wrestling Inc. has confirmed with outside sources that Cleveland is indeed in the conversation for the event. Cleveland, Ohio is not only famously the home of former WWE World Heavyweight Champion The Miz, but also WWE superstar and YouTuber Logan Paul, who grew up in Westlake, Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland. It is entirely possible that Logan Paul could be WWE United States Champion by next year's SummerSlam should he defeat Rey Mysterio on November 4th in Saudi Arabia. So if that's the case, you can bet I'll be there. There's no way I would miss a SummerSlam taking place in my backyard. That's the only major pay-per-view I've never been to. I've been to WrestleManias, I've been to Royal Rumbles, I've been to Survivor Series. I've never been to a SummerSlam. That is the only major pay-per-view that I have not attended. And Hunter, yeah, you're right, Johnny Gargano, I wish they would put him in a world title match, to be honest with you. If anybody needs to be in a big, fight, feel situation, it would be Johnny Gargano, because, come on, they gotta do something with him. Give Johnny something. I know, I could get behind that. Give me Johnny Gargano in a main event, put him in a world title feud. I would love it. I wish they would keep Roman Reigns as champion up until then, but I don't think they will. But think about it, if they would, you keep Roman heel, you have Johnny Gargano go as the underdog babyface, much like Daniel Bryan before WrestleMania 30, and then you have Johnny Gargano versus Roman Reigns, and you have Johnny Gargano beat Roman Reigns. That's how you build an up-and-coming star. That's what they should do, but WWE more than likely will not do that. Dolph Ziggler, possibly, he's another one from Cleveland, but WWE released him. Would they bring him back? That's something that we would have to watch out to see, but I really hope they do bring it here, because if that would be the case, I might even try to get a seat with the collectible chair for that one. SummerSlam in Cleveland? Damn. I never thought that I would ever be, saying that that's a possibility, but it is. It's one of those things that is indeed a possibility now. And it's damn sure exciting, let me tell you. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, let's see what we have here for AEW Dynamite. And we'll get into it and we'll talk about it. We will talk about it, folks. Alright. Let me see. I gotta find the results page here real quick, and I can throw in the ratings report here for you guys quickly. So let me go ahead and do that before I get into the show itself. AEW Dynamite ratings report for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Following last week's rise in viewership, the October 25th, 2023 episode of AEW Dynamite suffered a 14% decline. According to WrestleNomics, this week's AEW Dynamite garnered an average of 774,000 viewers on TBS. This marks the lowest Wednesday viewership since June 15th of 2022. Meanwhile, AEW Dynamite was viewed by 321,000 people in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic range, resulting in a 0.24 18 to 49 key demographic rating. This is the lowest 18 to 49 viewership since June 28th of 2023. Last week's AEW Dynamite drew 901,000 viewers, which was a big rebound from Tuesday, October 10th of 2023, when AEW went head-to-head with WWE's loaded edition of NXT. This week's AEW Dynamite kicked off with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion MJF retaining his AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring against Rock Hard Juice Robinson. From there, MJF shared words with his AEW Full Gear Challenger Switchblade Jay White, as well as his Collision Challenger this Saturday in Kenny Omega. Then the Nature Boy Ric Flair made his AEW debut when he joined Sting for an in-ring segment, as the wrestling world continues to anticipate the icon Sting's impending retirement. Elsewhere in the show, Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks retained their Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team titles against the Hardys and Brother Zay, while Hikaru Shida successfully defended her AEW Women's World title against Ruby Soho. Rob Van Dam teamed with Hook to beat the Dark Order, while the main event of the evening saw Claudia Castagnoli and the American Dragon Bryan Danielson score a win over the team of Orange Cassidy and Kazuchika Okada. The highest point in viewership of the night was the start of the show for MJF going up against Rock Hard Juice Robinson with 982,000 viewers, while the lowest was during the quarter hour featuring the end of Hikaru Shida versus Ruby Soho with 643,000 viewers. By the time the 3-minute overrun was airing, 716,000 viewers were tuned in. So, yeah, there you go, guys. So I got a bunch of things out of the way, for all of you. And, that we were able to touch on and talk about. And now that I got all this stuff out of the way for all of you, we can actually get into the review itself and, we can talk about it. So I hope you guys are ready for that, because I sure am ready. Okay. Yeah, Vic Joseph, another Cleveland guy, on commentary for that one. Plus, Vic Joseph used to call Johnny Gargano's indie matches in Prime Wrestling when Prime Wrestling was running in Cleveland, Ohio. I used to go to those shows all the time. So, that would be another thing, where it would be all coming full circle. I mean, you couldn't ask, for anything better. I personally would love to see it. So yeah, I definitely see that there, Hunter, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. I love, Johnny Gargano just deserves so much, and I feel like WWE is really squandering him right now. I mean, I really do. I can't help it. That's just the way I feel. I feel they could be doing so much more with him, and I don't understand why they're not. It's just the way that I feel, and I just feel they could be doing so much more. And I think they need to start doing more when it comes to him. Let me know what you guys think. Alright. So let me find the results page here, and then we can go full on in and just talk about the whole Dynamite show, which was a fantastic show, guys. My God. I don't understand what Wrestling Inc. had against this show, what they had against, Ric Flair being on the show. I just find it so ridiculous. Because, really, there was some great stuff here. And it just makes me think of Wrestling Inc. like, I don't know what their problem is. To be honest, I don't get it. But, let's see. Okay, so guys, as we take a look at this results page for AEW Dynamite, let's see. I know it was in here, guys. I can't be crazy. Where's the results page for this? I can't be missing it because I saw it here. And all of a sudden, where did it go? Hold on here. I'll find it. Let's click on the AEW page here. Where in the world did this go? Okay. I got it now. Yeah, Vic Joseph, he used to do a show on a Cleveland radio station for the Cleveland Browns. Yes. Yes, that is true, Hunter. That is absolutely true. AEW Dynamite review and results here for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. MJF faces Rock Hard Juice Robinson for the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring. We got 2 title matches. We got Kazuchika Okada in action. And it's from the La Chorus Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Tonight's show will see the issues between MJF and the Bullet Club Gold members continue as MJF competes against Rock Hard Juice Robinson. The AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring will be on the line here after Rock Hard Juice Robinson won the Battle Royal last week, and he has promised to win the ring and turn it into another tooth for himself. Meanwhile, there will be 2 title matches on the show, with the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championships being defended as the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, and Hangman Adam Page. The Hung Bucks, the Elite, compete against the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, and Brothers Isaiah Cassidy. Hikaru Shida will also put the AEW Women's World Championship on the line as her issues with the Outcast continue. After taking the title from Saraya to kickstart her 3rd reign as AEW Women's World Champion, Hikaru Shida will now defend her AEW Women's World Championship against Ruby Soho, who is continuing to try and claim her first title since joining AEW. Elsewhere, Swerve Strickland is set to address Hangman Adam Page as he continues to explain their issues, while Chris Jericho is going to have a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette as Jericho reflects. Jericho reflects here. Let's see. Chris Jericho, in a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette as he reflects on his recent defeat against Powerhouse Will Hobbs and his ongoing issues with the Don Callis family. There's also a major tag team match set as Kazuchika Okada will be stepping into an AEW ring to team with Orange Cassidy against the Blackpool Combat Club members, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli. In another tag team match, RVD, Rob Van Dam, will be making his return to AEW as he once again teams up with Hook, as RVD and Hook, the duo, face John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. Finally, after announcing his retirement date last week, Tony Khan has a gift for Sting. So, that's everything that you gotta look forward to during this match, which I thought is pretty damn cool. I thought it was pretty damn cool, guys. Let's see. Hunter says he DVR'd AEW Dynamite because he was busy Wednesday night, so it was pleasant watching it today and helping him escape from reality since there was a mass shooting an hour away from where I live on Wednesday night. I heard about that. That is tragic. That's absolutely awful. Sorry that happened and everybody there, thoughts and prayers with them. I mean, that's just a terrible tragedy out there in Maine where you are. So let's get the review kicked off here and talk about what we got and get into it. Alright, so we start off with the match for the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring. MJF, he's the current reigning defending AEW Dynamite Ring winner for the past 4 years in a row, going for ring number 5. MJF, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion and Dynamite Diamond Ring holder, going up against Rock Hard Juice Robinson. Let me tell you something. This match was amazing. The first 30 minutes of the show was very storyline driven. AEW did an incredible job here. So tonight's AEW Dynamite starts off with MJF backstage with Renee Paquette. Roderick Strong appears and says he will help MJF with his Bullet Club Gold problem, but MJF just rolls Roderick Strong away, and MJF then says he is coming to deal with his Switchblade Jay White problem. And he has a bullet with Juice Robinson's name on it. But then the camera switches to the mystery devil mask, which simply nods along. So who's under that mask? I'm starting to think it could be Adam Cole. When the bell rings, MJF immediately takes Rock Hard Juice Robinson down and begins stomping away on him in the corner. And he then launches him into the barricade and over the timekeeper's area. And then he catapults Robinson face first to the ring post, which busts Rock Hard Juice Robinson wide open. As MJF then slams Robinson off the steel ring steps. However, MJF then gets distracted by the Guns, the Ass Boys, Austin and Colton Gunn. And that allows Robinson to trip MJF up into the steel stairs, and he then DDTs MJF onto the ring apron. Robinson slowly remains in control while Switchblade Jay White comes out to watch from the commentary table. However, when the Guns try to distract the referee, MJF uses his scarf to choke Robinson, which he follows with some clotheslines and a body slam. MJF then nails the kangaroo kick, but as he tries to dive out of the ring, the Guns trip MJF up, which allows Robinson to return with a big boot. MJF then avoids another big boot, but he then gets spat on and powerbombed. Only for MJF to kick out of the pinfall attempt. Robinson avoids the Heat Seeker, but MJF dives out of the ring to wipe out the Guns. He then catches Juice in the ring skirt as he rakes Robinson in the eyes, but Rock Hard Juice Robinson hits the Juices loose back inside the ring on MJF, yet MJF kicks out once more. The Guns end up distracting the referee, which allows Rock Hard Juice Robinson to try to use his ring, but MJF clocks Robinson with the real AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring, and then hits the Heat Seeker on him to get the 1, 2, 3 and the pin in the win. to retain his AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring and become a 5-time winner of the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring and the only AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring holder. Your winner is MJF, the 2023 AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring holder. Or winner. And, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. After the match, the Guns attack MJF until the Kingdom turns up to try and help, only for them to be sent out of the ring. The Acclaimed then hit the ring, along with Daddy Ass, and chased the Bullet Club Gold away. Switchblade Jay White tells MJF that he will never get his hands on his AEW World Heavyweight title belt again. The Guns then challenge MJF for a Ring of Honor World Tag Team title shot, and MJF agrees to it at Full Gear, while also saying next week it'll be an 8-man tag team match, and if his team wins, he will get his Triple B back. Roderick Strong then says MJF will obviously pick them right, meaning the Kingdom and Roderick Strong. But MJF tells Roderick to roll off a cliff. And then he said something to him, and then he's like, you bitch. And then Max Caster says, that means you will pick us, right? But MJF says that, MJF says that he wouldn't tag with him even if his body was on fire. Caster says that means there's a chance and he wants to scissor MJF, but MJF just, shuts them up and leaves, and that was that. And, so that was very storyline driven, and then we moved to even more. Let's see, scrolling through Instagram late Wednesday night during the situation, and I found a Cleveland Cavaliers post of them sending their condolences to Lewiston, Maine, which was really cool to see. That's awesome. Omar, definitely one of the best AEW Dynamites of the entire year, that's for sure. But, that's awesome. What's up, Darth? Alright, so let's see here. Kenny Omega. This is where it's even more storyline driven. Kenny Omega then appears and makes it clear that he wants an AEW World Heavyweight Championship shot. MJF then says they can do this Saturday night at Collision, and see where this makes sense. What a lot of people don't see, and what Wrestling Inc., a Wrestling News website doesn't even see, is that this match doesn't need a pay-per-view. I understand where people are saying this would be great on pay-per-view, and yeah, it would be great on pay-per-view. But in the grand scheme of things, this is all about Kenny Omega getting to defend his streak as the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion of all time. If MJF retains the title on Saturday, he will officially become the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion ever. If Kenny Omega beats MJF, then Kenny Omega will still remain the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion of all time. That's what this is about. Kenny Omega wants to have this match because he wants to try to beat MJF so MJF don't beat his overall record. See, this is what people don't understand. And the only way that could happen, they have to have this match on Collision. So, there is something on the line here. The title, and also, Kenny Omega wanting to remain the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion of all time. This is what a lot of people are missing. And just the stare down and everything, and how good this is going to be with MJF, I love it. I love everything about it. I don't understand what people, have a problem with. Exactly, Darth. All these people bitching about this match, they obviously don't like wrestling because this is a dream match. And so what if it's on Collision? There's story behind it. If you have them fight at a pay-per-view, yeah, you could build it up longer. But there's a lot of story here right now because, MJF wants to be the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion of all time, and Kenny Omega wants to remain the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion of all time. That's what it's all about. So, for MJF, to get that special distinction and become the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion of all time, MJF has to earn it by going through Kenny Omega on Saturday night. I mean, this isn't hard to figure out. You know, this is the problem with people here. I don't understand it. Like, what everybody's problem is. You know, you people complain when the shows are bad, but then when companies actually do something good to bring interest to a show, people have problems with that too. Exactly. This is going to give more credibility to MJF's world title run. And then, you know, think about World's End. They could start teasing MJF's contract being up on January 1st. And if MJF walks out of World's End with the AEW World Heavyweight title, it's as if AEW's world ends because they don't know if MJF is going to come back or not. They have no idea. The MJF, for all they know, could be walking out storyline-wise with their world title. Because underneath it all, MJF is still that prick that wants to get paid. So, I mean, there's a whole storyline there. So why are people even bitching about the World's End pay-per-view? See, people aren't thinking about the grander picture here and the grand stage and scheme of everything. There's a lot of moving parts here that a lot of people are missing. But yeah, what a great open to AEW Dynamite. This first 30 minutes of the show was amazing. A lot of storyline-driven stuff, setting up a lot of things for Full Gear. MJF, you know, defending the Ring of Honor World Tag titles against the Guns by himself, and also defending against Switchblade Jay White, and then throwing Kenny Omega in the middle of MJF's road to Full Gear. I mean, what more could you want? Great stuff. Next up, Rob Van Dam and Hook go up against John Silver and Alex Reynolds with Evil Uno in their corner. Next up, a video package is shown of my buddy Wardlow explaining that he had to watch MJF become the name of AEW and see the man he beat, you know, main event the biggest show in the history of this business. That changes a man. He has felt the devil's claws dig deeper into his back, and now MJF has nothing to take from him, so he will take everything from MJF. I'm loving that. This is a way to really build up Wardlow. I love it. Alright, now we go to this. Alex Reynolds talks trash to Hook early on, but he immediately gets brought down to the mat as Hook controls his arm until tagging in RVD. The Dark Order ends up taking over, though, after RVD turns his back and John Silver comes in to attack him, only for RVD to flip him across the ring. RVD and Hook then work together and send both of their opponents outside the ring. RVD brings Hook in, who starts attacking the arm of Silver, but the numbers game eventually distracts Hook, who gets sent to the floor. Silver connects with several round kicks, while Reynolds then tags back in, only for Silver to immediately make a blind tag and powerbomb him onto Reynolds' knee. Hook then turns things around with a Northern Lights release, and RVD tags in and lights up Silver with a thrust kick. He follows it up with a Rolling Thunder, but Reynolds breaks the pinfall and then attacks him. RVD then attacks with a suplex, and then a kick to Silver as Hook comes back in with some cross faces as the referee gets distracted as Evil Uno tries to use a chair, but RVD boots it in his face, attacking Reynolds as he then nails a 5-star frog splash while Silver is locked into the Red Rum. And he taps out. Your winners are Hook and Rob Van Dam. Great match. The next Toni Storm black and white picture is shown as they tease her Hollywood homecoming for AEW Full Gear, while Luther is shown as her butler. Next up, we got Tony Khan's gift for Sting. Tony Schiavone is shown in the ring as he welcomes Sting and Darby Allin. Sting wants to thank two people he forgot last week. Sting thanks Darby Allin, saying he could not have come this far without him by his side, and he is the best tag team partner that he has ever had. Sting also wants to thank Tony Khan for letting him wrestle a little bit longer. Tony Schiavone speaks on behalf of Tony Khan and thanks Sting. as Tony Schiavone then brings out Tony Khan's special gift for Sting, which is, woo, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Ric Flair says there are few and far between magical moments, but it is what makes you the best. 35 years ago, Sting and Ric Flair made history on TBS at the first Clash of Champions, and to go 55 minutes is hard, but Sting never took a deep breath. As Ric Flair says that Sting is not only one of the biggest celebrities in AEW, but one of the nicest guys that he has ever known. Ric Flair says when he got an invite from Tony Khan to be here, he could not say no, and he wants to be here the whole journey, all the way to Sting's retirement. Flair then drops a woo! However, Christian Cage interrupts him, and Christian Cage says that Tony Khan is a billionaire, and this is the gift that Sting gets. Christian says that Tony Khan basically gave Sting, he gave him a suit, gold chains, and a black liver. Tony Khan says it is impressive that he doesn't look like Weekend at Bernie's, referring to Ric Flair, making fun of Ric Flair. Christian Cage says he knows that Ric Flair is not dead, and he knows there is not a God, because if there was a God, Ric Flair would have been dead 20 years ago. As Christian says this situation will not go away until he makes it go away, and he knows Sting wants to make it to AEW Revolution. It's a beautiful picture, but Christian says he sees it differently. Christian wants Sting gone right now, as Christian suggests Sting and Darby Allin get a partner, and at Full Gear it won't be a celebration. It will be more like a funeral. Sting accepts it after saying, well, he sneezes, Sting sneezes, and he's like, achoo! Oh, I'm sorry, I'm allergic to jackasses. I thought that was so fucking funny. I'm like, holy shit, that's great. That was a great thing by Sting. But, Christian, telling Sting and Darby Allin to get a partner. So it'll be Christian, Luchasaurus, and I guess Nick Wayne against Sting, Darby Allin, and I'm going to say Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland's going to be the partner of Darby Allin and Sting, because Adam Copeland has been involved in this feud, since he made his AEW debut. So, my question is, why not Adam Copeland? I would say it's gotta be Adam Copeland. Edge, formerly known as Edge. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. But to me, it just seems like Adam Copeland is really the only choice here, for this whole thing. Let me know what you guys think, but that's what I'm going with. I mean, it makes sense. It would make for a good six-man tag. It's like Tony Khan. I mean, you got something like that there. Go for it, because that's what it should be. Adam Copeland should be the guy. I mean, hands down, should be the guy. Alright, but anyway, now that we got this out of the way, let's take a look here and see what we got next on this awesome episode of AEW Dynamite. Like I said, guys, this is just, it's amazing stuff. It really is amazing stuff. I mean, I love it. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was awesome. Everything about this show, awesome. I mean, anybody who wouldn't like it, I honestly don't know what there is not to like. That's me just being straight up honest. So, let's take a look here and see what we got going forward for the rest of our stuff here. Alright. Let's see. Adam Cole and Adam Copeland. I'm sure you know Hunter as well as I do. Adam Cole and Adam Copeland, it's pretty damn close. I'm still used to calling Adam Copeland Edge, to be honest with you. I'm still used to calling him Edge. But, it's just one of those things. We'll get used to it over time by calling him by his real name. But, yeah, I'm still used to calling him Edge, to be honest with you. It's just one of those things, You look at him and you still see Edge, but, real name in reality, yeah, he's Adam Copeland. Alright, so let's take a look and see what we do have next, because so far so good on this awesome show, guys. Really. If there was something that you guys didn't like, I don't know what else you could be wanting, to be honest, because this is great stuff. Alright, let's take a look here as we continue on. Alright. The Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, defend the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions against the Hardys and Brother Zay. Chris Jericho admits the thing that's hurting the most for him is his ego. When speaking with Renee Paquette, Jericho says he is always reflecting and he's always had immense self-confidence in knowing that he could beat anybody. He didn't see it coming against Powerhouse Hobbs. Does he still have what it takes to beat Hobbs? Or is it time to take a step back? Or is it time to get stronger and know that he's Chris effing Jericho and it's time to get revenge? And Don Callis, has a lot of friends, but he says, but I have a lot of friends too, meaning Jericho, and some are even bigger than Hobbs. Maybe it is time to give them a call. Which I'm assuming it's one or two people, or maybe even both. Could be Paul White, formerly known as The Big Show, or it could even be Bill Goldberg if they bring him in for like a special one-off. We gotta see. We gotta see what they do. There's more people who's gonna be like, they're only doing Kenny versus MJF to sell seats to Collision. Yeah, Hunter, that's exactly right. They gotta do something on Collision. I don't like CM Punk, but Collision hasn't quite felt the same since he left. That's what Dart says. It's gotta be Sting, Darby Allin, and Big T AEW debut. I would like that. I'd love to be in AEW. Alright, the Young Bucks start out hot against Brother Zay, launching him around the ring as Hangman Adam Page jumps in with a clothesline, leading Matt Hardy tagging in. Jeff Hardy takes a cheap shot to Matt Jackson after he tags in with a knee to the back, with Zay launching himself over the top rope to take out the rest of the champions as Jeff then tags in and begins attacking the arm of his opponent while he cuts the ring off. He gets ready to hit his classic leg drop to Matt, but Nick Jackson super kicks him only for Jeff to fall down onto him anyways. Matt Hardy then tags in and catapults Matt Jackson neck first into the second rope before missing with the second rope move, which leads to Nick Jackson hitting a double Northern Light suplex to Hardy and Zay. Page tags in and immediately takes the fight to the challengers, taking all three men down. He nails a Death Valley driver to Zay, but he's able to kick out. Hangman aims for the Deadeye, but Zay hits a silly string with Jeff, which turns things around. Nick and Jeff then tag in, but the Elite, Hangman, he rocks all of his opponents with super kick, one of the Jacksons, knock their opponents with super kicks. Matt comes in, but Zay gets the best of both of them with a flurry of moves. Jeff then nails Matt Jackson with a twist of fate and holds him while Brother Zay launches off his back to take the rest out. Meanwhile, Jeff nails a Swanton Bomb, but Nick makes the save. The Elite turns things around quickly, though, as Hangman nails a buckshot lariat to Zay, while the Young Bucks take down the Hardys with super kicks as Zay gets hit with the BTE trigger to get to end the match. 1, 2, 3 in the pin to win. Your winner, and still the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions, is Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, the Elite, the Hung Bucks. Next up, a video package is then shown us Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana entering Hangman Adam Page's house as he rips some of his children's drawings up, and then he goes into Hangman's child's bedroom with Nana telling him that he doesn't like the idea. Hangman says that Swerve says that Hangman owes him a debt, so he questions if Hangman Jr. will pay him the debt. He leaves him a baby t-shirt as a reminder that they're always indebted to him. Next up, AEW Women's World Championship match. Hikaru Shida, AEW Women's World Champion, defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Ruby Soho. This match was not good. Adam Copeland tells Renee Paquette he still doesn't want to fight Christian. Darby Allin turns up and says, "That's not the world we are living in. It's killed or be killed here." Sting then says he can't believe that we are having this conversation, and Copeland needs to take his blinders off as he learned how to see through guys like Christian, and he tells Copeland to open up his eyes. Hikaru Shida, that's going to set up for, Copeland being the partner of Sting and Darby at Full Gear. Hikaru Shida manages to catch Ruby Soho with a crossbody. She falls with a body slam. However, Ruby responds by driving Shida down, and the two women roll through around the ring trying to pin each other. Shida then takes the fight to Ruby with a series of punches in the corner before a dropkick that sends Ruby out of the ring. However, as Shida attempts to get out of the ring, Ruby hits her with a no future, pulling Shida down to the floor. Back inside the ring, Ruby headbutts Shida before just standing on her to add insult to injury, as Shida responds with a sharp running knee, and both women are then down. Shida nails the running forearm, but as she climbs to the top turnbuckle, Ruby counters and throws her down to the mat. Ruby then gets the spray paint and throws it to Shida and pretends, Shida used it, as Ruby grabs the title and attempts to hit Shida with it, and she sprays the belt. Aubrey Edwards pulls it away, only for Ruby to use her tape to choke Shida into the destination unknown. But Shida kicks out as she then nails Ruby with a knee strike and a Falcon Arrow, but as she goes for a pinfall, Ruby reverses, only to be sent into the exposed turnbuckle. Shida hits the katana and retains, gets the 1-2-3 and the pin in the win to retain her AEW Women's World Championship. Your winner and still the AEW Women's World Champion is Hikaru Shida. Didn't care for that match, but it was what it was. Post-match, after the match, Timeless Toni Storm, and her butler Luther appear staring down Hikaru Shida. Next, MJF is shown backstage as Samoa Joe says he will be MJF's friend, and he agrees. However, Joe will do it under one condition, and that's give him an AEW World Heavyweight title rematch. So we'll see what happens there. And finally, guys, right here, we are at the main event of the evening here for AEW Dynamite. We got the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli going up against Kazuchika Okada and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy tries to put his hands in his pockets, but Bryan Danielson stops it by kicking him, and he then stomps away on the elbow of the AEW International Champion. Claudio Castagnoli then tags in and launches Orange Cassidy around the ring as he then drives him down to the mat and mocks his kicks repeatedly until Orange Cassidy tags out. Kazuchika Okada steps in, and the two men compete in a battle of strength until Okada brings him to the mat and then charges towards Danielson, but he jumps down from the apron, and Okada turns it into a big uppercut as they go back and forth with them. Orange Cassidy tags back in, only to be sent to the top turnbuckle with Claudio powering him up into the air to drop him on the top rope. Danielson tags back in and drives his knee down onto Orange Cassidy as he dangles on the top rope, as Danielson then grounds Cassidy to the mat with a series of submissions while driving his knees into him repeatedly. Claudio comes in and Cassidy sends him to the outside, but just as he's about to tag, he crawls in and denies him, but Orange Cassidy drops him with a DDT, encountering an uppercut. Danielson and Okada then tag in, and they begin exchanging chops and forearms. Danielson lights them up with a few strikes, but Okada responds with a running elbow and then the DDT as he drops Danielson face first, but he responds with his traditional kicks, missing the last one, which allows him to be rolled up. Despite that, Danielson reverses out into the label lock, but Okada gets out. Both men then go for their finishers, but are not able to hit them, while they then have the same idea and run into each other in the middle of the ring. Orange Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli tag in, and the champion unloads with a series of kicks, but when he goes for another DDT, he gets reversed into the giant swing, but Orange Cassidy has a counter for it, nails the Stun Dog Millionaire. Orange Cassidy misses with the Orange Punch and sets up the giant swing. Okada gets back in the mix to help out his partner and ends up connecting with the Rainmaker. He hits the classic pose, but Orange Cassidy hugs him at that point, only for Danielson to attack them both. A flurry of moves from everyone starts to clear the ring out as Danielson is nailed with the Orange Punch and the Rainmaker, but Claudio removes Okada and then nails a huge uppercut to Orange Cassidy and pins him 1-2-3 for the pin and the win. Your winners are Claudio Castagnoli and the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. Post-match, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson sells an injury that led to all the Blackpool Combat Club members appearing as they end up staring down their opponents. And that's how AEW Dynamite went off the air, folks. And that is what we got. So, that was some good stuff. What a great match. You know, nice tag team match. Great to see Okada. I mean, there's nothing wrong with seeing Kazuchika Okada. You know, you gotta love that. If you don't like seeing Okada in AEW, you know, mixing it up, I just don't understand, you know, what you guys would want, to be honest. But, you know, here, I do have, you know, a small piece of news that'll help you guys. And we'll close with this and send it on home here. I think you guys will enjoy this one. Alright, because there was some news that broke today about Ric Flair. So I want to touch on this, about the Nature Boy. Backstage update on Ric Flair's debut on AEW Dynamite. Heading into last night's AEW Dynamite, speculation was running rampant as to the nature of Tony Khan's announced gift for Sting, a week removed from Sting's announcement that he would be retiring at AEW Revolution next March. But many bingo cards did not have Ric Flair officially debuting in AEW as an option. The Nature Boy showed up on Wednesday evening to congratulate Sting, his longtime rival from their days in WCW, on a great career. But Flair's arrival in AEW has been something in the works for a while. According to the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, there was some truth to the long-held rumor that Flair and Tony Khan had a verbal deal for Ric Flair to join AEW as far back as 2021, perhaps as the corner man for his son-in-law Andrade El Idolo. But following the plane ride from hell episode of The Dark Side of the Ring that brought to light new details of past Ric Flair behavior, the deal was squashed. However, as with a lot of things in wrestling, the passage of time and Flair's continued presence in wrestling over the last year made his entry into AEW now a little bit more palatable. While it remains unclear how often Flair will appear on AEW programming going forward, Flair himself did indicate that he could become somewhat of a fixture, asking Sting if he could be part of the final few months of his career. AEW is yet to clarify whether Flair is under contract with AEW or is appearing on a per-date basis. So, you know, we don't know exactly, you know, what that's all about, but that's the news that we have up until this point, and yeah, we'll have to see where it goes from there. Alright guys, so as far as what I would rate the show for AEW Dynamite tonight for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, even though I'm, you know, streaming this live on Thursday, October 26th, 2023. This is for AEW Dynamite last night, and I'll give the show a straight up 10 out of 10 plus, and the 2 thumbs up and the big T seal of approval. So, there you go, guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show. And then as far as when I'll be back, I really don't know. You know, the weekend shows, I haven't been doing much because I go out on Friday night, and then to try to catch up on everything on Saturday, it's just tough, especially with the inclusion of Collision. But with Collision being big this week with Kenny Omega and MJF, I might review Collision. Maybe. Don't know for sure. But I'll see. And if I review Collision, I don't know when. Maybe on Saturday night, possibly. We'll see. But I don't know for sure, just throwing it out there. But anyway, so yeah, that's gonna do it for me here tonight, guys, in this episode of Beyond the Ring with Big T. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you guys next time. And yes, there will be a next time for me right here on Beyond the Ring with Big T, and that'll be for your possible AEW Collision review results show this weekend. If not, I'll see you for Monday Night Raw on Monday night, but we'll see. And don't forget us, and we won't forget you. And of course, if you want the best, and yes, I do mean the absolute best for all of your professional wrestling needs, right here on the internet, right here on YouTube.com today, always remember to think Beyond the Ring with Big T. And then, of course, everybody, don't forget, check out my website, www.beyondtheringwithbigt.com. Anytime I'm live, you guys can call into the show live on Skype using BigT_119. Follow me on Twitter at Beyond the Ring BT. Like me and follow me on Facebook at Beyond the Ring with Big T. Follow me on Instagram at Beyond the Ring with Big T. Hashtag Justice for Pretty. Donate to the show. The PayPal link's at the top of the description of this video and every single video that I do. There's a PayPal button on my YouTube homepage. The PayPal link's pinned to the top of the YouTube live chat and the Facebook live comments. Any amount that you guys can donate to the show to help out would be very much appreciated. So please donate right now. Thank you guys very much for that. And, yeah, guys, so this was great stuff. AEW definitely had a great show. And I'm excited for Collision, and I'll see if I'll be I know I'll be watching it, but I'll see if I'll be covering it. I'll see how everything goes. I don't know for sure yet, but, you know, we'll see. And, but SmackDown and Rampage, I don't think I'm doing. Collision is a possibility. We'll see. So, there you go, guys. Again, thank you very much for watching and listening to your AEW Dynamite review and results show for today, Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. And then, of course, as always, everybody, you guys know how it is. Always remember and never ever forget that I'm your host, Big T, and that I will see all of you at the matches. And I will see all of you for possibly your AEW Collision review results on Saturday night. If I don't, I'll see you for WWE Monday Night Raw next review results next week on Monday night. But take care, everybody. I love you all. Stay safe and have a great weekend. Take care, everybody. I love you all. I'm your host, Big T. I'll see you at the matches. Take care. I love you all. And of course, good night, everybody. Ha 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 ha.
This is M-Dog 20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you were checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring, AEW